Ajit Pai will tell you with his typical shit-eating grin that we are overreacting about the repeal of net neutrality, that we're being ridiculous, that the telecoms will probably work in our favor, and that this is all overblown. But please know that this is highly unusual. What the FCC has done was not in the public interest. I don't know what kind of democracy lets 3 appointed people make the decision for over 300 million people against the majority of the wishes of everyone else. This was a heist. This was a robbery. This was not normal, what happened. So I don't need to explain it again, but the FCC has voted along party lines to repeal the 2015 net neutrality rules, classifying them as basically data and content neutral tubes, instead giving ISPs and telecoms the powers to be able to slow people down, prioritize things, completely restrict some information or some data. It's extremely messed up what was happened. 83% of Americans, according to a poll from the Program for Public Consultation and Voice of the People, are in favor of keeping the net neutrality rules as they were as of 2015. And that includes 75% of Republicans. So the Republican commissioners on this FCC have basically ignored the interests of their own constituents. It's not right. It's undemocratic. In her dissent to this, there was a very good speech by Commissioner Clyburn, who said, "Why such a bipartisan outcry? Because the large majority of Americans are in favor of keeping strong net neutrality rules in place. But the saddest part to me about all of this, and it's painful for me to say this, is that this is the new norm at the FCC. A norm where the majority ignores the will of the people. A norm where the majority stands idly by while the people they are committed to serve, that they've taken an oath to serve, are about to lose so much." There have been so many reasons for us to stop this vote, to reject this vote, and they've been ignored. This FCC, well, the majority of this FCC does not care about the will of the people, and they've ignored things like they're openly not participating in an investigation about the comment validity that was left on the public comment forum on the website, wherein many people have seen their names used or dead people's names used to comment against their wishes in favor of repealing net neutrality. This is not being investigated. This should be investigated. Pai has said numerous times that there's no evidence that telecoms would ever abuse their power without Title II restrictions, but there's numerous times where this has happened before Obama put those rules in place. It's egregious what has happened. It's insane. But also, according to Clyburn, well, this is something Clyburn brought up, but we all knew this already. It doesn't end at the FCC. It's, like I said, not the democratic thing for us to do, to have 3 appointed people make a decision for over 300 million people against their own wishes. This now goes to Congress. So we still have something we can do. We can still make calls. I know it sucks, but this is the best way to do it. We have a list of 84 different members of Congress who told Ajit Pai to repeal net neutrality. We also have a list of how much money they've been given by campaign donors, by donors who are specifically in the telecom lobbies to do this. Sometimes they're in the millions, like Greg Walden of Oregon. Sometimes they're almost nothing, like Ron Estes of Kansas, who only took $13,000 to, I don't know, bulldoze the rights and the will of his own constituents. It's not right. This is a theft. This is a heist. This needs to be stopped, and you need to make your will known, especially if your representative is one of these members of Congress who has decided to ignore what you have to say. We already have, I don't know, a failed comedian, a dopey-looking, shit-eating idiot, grin guy. I don't know how to describe Ajit Pai. He fills me with rage. We almost did a video where we took apart his stupid ass rebuttal about memes and not really understanding what the point of net neutrality is, to try to, let's troll some libs. But it's just like, no, you're trolling everyone. You're an asshole. You are not listening. You're not interested in any kind of interaction with people or listening to people or serving the people. You should not be in your spot. You have always been in the pocket of Verizon and the other telecoms. And it's so clear. It's maddening how egregious this is. And if you feel this way too, I strongly recommend you to make this known. And if your congressperson still votes against you, get them the hell out of office, because they're not doing their job. They're not serving you. That's what they're there to do. Audience, how have you reacted to this so far? Please let us know in the comments, and please let us know on social media, on Facebook and Twitter.